I used to believe that horror needed monsters or blood or something unreal. I was wrong. Real horror wears familiar faces, lives in quiet buildings, and waits patiently for you to notice it. I moved into apartment 6B on a rainy Tuesday in November. The building was old, one of those concrete blocks built in the late 1970s, with narrow hallways that smelled faintly of dust, damp carpets, and something metallic. The rent was cheap for the city, suspiciously cheap, but I was desperate. My previous roommate had vanished without explanation, and I needed a place fast. The landlord, Mr. Klein, was a thin man with pale skin and eyes that never quite focused on you. When he handed me the keys, his fingers trembled. "6th floor," he said. "End of the hall." "Anything I should know?" I asked, half joking. He hesitated, just for a moment. "People here keep to themselves. That's best." The elevator was broken, so I carried my bags up 6 flights of stairs. By the time I reached the 6th floor, my arms burned and my shirt was soaked with sweat. The hallway was long and dim, lit by flickering fluorescent lights. Apartment doors lined both sides, all identical, brown, scratched, with peeling numbers. 6B was at the very end. As I unlocked the door, I noticed something strange. The doorframe was covered in deep scratches, as if someone had dragged something sharp along the wood over and over. I told myself it was old damage, maybe from furniture. Inside, the apartment was small but clean. 1 bedroom, a narrow kitchen, a living room with a single window facing another building's brick wall. No view, but quiet. That first night, I slept deeply, too deeply. I woke at 3:17 a.m. to the sound of my phone vibrating on the nightstand. Unknown number. I frowned and answered, my voice thick with sleep. "Hello?" Breathing. Slow. Wet. Like someone breathing through a clogged nose. "Hello?" I repeated. A whisper followed, so faint I almost missed it. "Don't open the door." The call ended. I sat upright, heart pounding. My phone screen showed no call history, no missed call, nothing. I checked the time again, 3:17 a.m. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I asked Mr. Klein if there were any issues with phone lines in the building. He looked at me sharply. "Why?" "I got a strange call last night." He stared at me for a long moment, then shook his head. Probably a wrong number. When I pressed him, he snapped, "Drop it." Over the next few days, things escalated. At exactly 3:17 a.m. every night, my phone vibrated. Sometimes it rang, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes there was breathing. Sometimes there was crying. Once there was laughter. Low, broken, like someone laughing with a mouthful of water. The voice always sounded different, but the message was always the same. Don't open the door. I tried turning my phone off. At 3:17 a.m., it turned itself back on. I tried sleeping with headphones. The vibration rattled the bed. I called my phone company. They found no record of the calls. By the 5th night, I was exhausted, paranoid, jumping at every sound. That was when I noticed the knocking. 3 slow knocks. Not on my door, on the wall behind my bed. Knock, knock, knock. I froze, staring at the cracked paint inches from my face. There was another apartment on the other side, 6A. "Hello?" I whispered. Silence. Then scratching. Long, deliberate lines dragged across the wall from floor to ceiling. I backed away, my chest tight. The scratching stopped abruptly. At 3:17 a.m., my phone rang. This time, I didn't answer. A voicemail appeared instantly. Against every instinct, I played it. My own voice came through the speaker. Crying, screaming, begging. "Please, please, don't let it in." The message cut off with a loud bang. I threw the phone across the room. The next day, I went to the police. I told them everything, the calls, the noises, the voice. They listened politely, exchanged looks, and asked if I had been under stress lately. One officer finally said, "No crime has occurred." When I returned to the building, I noticed the door to apartment 6A was boarded up. Fresh wood, new nails. I confronted Mr. Klein. "What happened in 6A?" I demanded, his face drained of color. "You shouldn't ask questions." "Someone was there last night," he whispered. "No one has lived in 6A for 3 years." That night, the knocking returned. Louder, faster. Not on my door, on my wall. Knock, knock, knock. My phone vibrated. 3:17 a.m. Unknown number. I answered with shaking hands. "This isn't real," I said. The voice on the other end was calm, familiar. It was mine. "It is," it said, "and it's outside." The doorknob rattled violently. Something scraped along the door, carving deep grooves into the wood. "Don't open it," my voice whispered. "If you open it, I won't be able to warn you anymore." "What are you?" I screamed. Silence. Then a new voice spoke. Low, inhuman. "We've been waiting." The knocking stopped. I didn't sleep. I sat against the wall, clutching a kitchen knife, watching the door until morning. At dawn, there were scratches on the inside of the door. From the inside. I packed my things and ran. I stayed with a friend across town. I didn't tell them everything. I tried to forget. Weeks passed. The calls stopped. I started to believe it was over. Then one night, my friend's phone rang at 3:17 a.m. Unknown number. He answered. I heard my own voice from across the room, whispering words I knew too well. "Don't open the door." Because whatever lives in apartment 6B doesn't stay there forever. And now that you've read this, it knows where you are.